What is up, guys? Welcome back, and it's the Kevin Show. Yes, for the first time in a long time, I am doing a show, and I will get to the reasons why I haven't done a show in a long time. The last time I did a video for Model News was um, DHS last year, which is coming up on the bend. Can't wait to see you guys that are going there, and hopefully there's a good number of you guys for sure. Love to see you guys there, 100%. Yeah, we're going to talk. I guess that's the one thing I'm good for is talking. Um, so sit back, relax, grab some good old coffee or whatever you prefer to drink. Relax and listen to me ramble on. We got a variety of topics today. But first and foremost, we're going to get to the thing that really needs explaining. I want to get this out of the way first. Why I haven't done a show. So, DHS last year, I had a lot going on in my personal life. A lot of good things going on in my personal life. And at the time of DHS, I was extremely happy. And then a set of circumstances happened, and I got very distracted from not only Model News, but from the hobby in general by someone, just to put it simply and bluntly. And that fell away, which kind of sent my personal life into a tailspin. I'm not going to go into full on details, but it did send my personal life into sort of a tailspin, and I just, kind of put this and everything on the back burner. I still love you guys, and I appreciate your guys listening, whether you agree with what I'm saying or whether you don't, still love you guys. You guys are awesome. And I want to thank the people that have stuck beside me through all of this. So now we're going to get to the question of, and let me preface this with, back in April, I announced that I was leaving Model News. And now we're going to get to the reasoning of why I made that decision to do, and I still stick by that decision. Well, to put it simply, I've gotten older. Just like all of you. I've been in this community for a long time, which some people can say, some people can't. But I've been in this community for, God, almost 6 years. Well, at least publicly, not privately. A little kid watching with no YouTube account, just watching YouTube. But overall, in the end, same thing. My, I don't know how to put this. I'm not as interested as I used to be in the terms that, my love of this, and I'm going to be completely blunt and honest with this, since you guys deserve for me to be honest. My love for the hobby has diminished, and equipment photography as well, but that's because certain people concentrate on certain types of equipment, and you're not cool unless you see certain types of equipment, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of figure out what certain types I'm referencing. That fun has been sort of taken away because I'm not willing to travel great distances to see it, because in Indiana we got a lot of cornfields, not much construction. In some places, nothing major at least, or what people would consider major. And I'm going to get back to that topic of traveling here in a sec, but it's just sort of taking the fun out of it in all blunt honestness, all blunt honesty, excuse me. However, I still love this place. I really do. It's just my enjoyment of it has diminished, and it's starting to be revived now because I've always loved collecting the diecasts. I've always loved heavy equipment. That's two things that have never wavered, but My passion for the community has wavered a little bit, but I still am here. I may not have been in the foreground, but I've been in the background. No denial there. Um, Also, thank you guys for 12K followers on Instagram. It really does mean a lot, considering I created mine like 4 years ago and didn't use it until like a year or 2 years ago, or 2.5 now. But still, thank you guys so much. So now then, last year was undoubtedly, in many people's opinions, my greatest year of equipment hunting. Branched out a lot more because I was able to. And I really was in this kick of, okay, let's travel, and I did that a lot. And I went and evaluated myself big time at one point last year and said, why am I doing this? I'm not doing this for myself. I find and this is just honesty here. I was doing it to please others, and while I was doing that, I was making myself so unhappy. And you know, and there will be a point in this video where we actually talk about diecasts and stuff. I just wanted to get this part out of the way and avoid the questions. Well, in some sense, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to answer away. But anyways, I found myself at this point where I was just unhappy, and I felt like I was doing it for other people to make them pleased. And the lesson out of that is, if you're doing it to please somebody and you're making yourself unhappy, don't worry about pleasing that person. You gotta do what makes you happy. And I'm a lot happier now. I'm staying local. I still got some things planned, but I'm not going to the extremes that I did last year. I've only done one road trip this year compared to like the 5 or 6 that I did last year this time. The one big one that I have planned is DHS this year. I'm absolutely 100%, no doubt, going to that, for sure. But anyways, it's just, lesson learned from last year. If it makes you unhappy, don't fucking do it. So yeah, and I thought I've been planning on making a video for a long time, just haven't gotten around to it. I've been busy. I've been doing things. The month of May, I concentrate on racing. I know some people weren't the happiest with me about that. I'm sorry. But it was a nice distraction, and it's only once a year, so if you can't stand racing, just ignore me for a month. There's 11 other months in the year. It's not like I'm gonna pay attention to NASCAR when it rolls into Indy. Now, if sports cars come back, we got a different story. But anyways, so I guess the big news coming out of this last little bit is John Deere has or is in the process of buying the Wirtgen Group, which means John Deere will own the Wirtgen, Vogla, what else? The Kleeman, Ham, and a bunch of other different brands. They'll be in charge of that now. Now, whether we see rebranding, I don't know. After reading some articles, I don't think it's likely, but at first everybody was like, oh my god, we're going to get John Deere pavers and rollers and crushers and stabilizer. Okay. Yeah, it was one of those deals. And I was actually kind of excited for the deal of having John Deere pavers. Well, again, it looks less and less likely, and I might be wrong, which, whatever. I've been wrong plenty of times in the past. I do have a pretty good track record of being wrong, but that's beside the point. So this kind of puts an interesting thing on the Doikists. Whoops, can't believe I just did that. Anyways, this puts an interesting spin on that one. what happens with the diecasts? Do we continue to see NZG stuff with the Virkin Group? Or since John Deere is sticking with the old reliable, well, not really reliable, but the old, John Deere's being the old faithful brand that has stuck with Ertl for many of years. Are we going to see that? I hope not, honestly. Like, Ertl's getting better, but they are, like, what, 10, 15 years behind everybody else? We might see tensioners in, like, 5 or 6 years, but that's a big maybe. But it's like, okay. Because I've actually been collecting some of the NZG Virkin Group stuff lately. Like, I had the stabilizers and stuff like that before, but I'm talking like the pavers and stuff. And I'm pretty fond of them. I like them. They're cool. They're neat. They're amazing. But what's next? I hope we continue to see Virkin Group models because, and this is something I've noticed over the last couple days, they're actually starting to dry up a little bit. We don't have the selection we used to. The Virkin Group models are actually starting to dry up a little bit, and that's concerning, to me at least, because they really were the big competitor, and let me just say this. The Virkin Group were really NZG's major heavy hitter in the construction diecast. Of course, they got a bunch of fallback companies, but the Virkin Group have been the major thing that have kept NZG going as a major competitor in the diecast market. If you take that away, and this is a very vague comparison, trust me. When Northcott lost Caterpillar almost a year and a half ago, they had Kenworth and Talbert, or not Talbert, Trail King, excuse me. Talbert's over with First Gear. Trail King, sure, they had those fallback brands, but, they were to the point of no return. Now, I'm not saying that NZG is to the point of no return, but Northcott lost a lot of its, not credibility, but lost a lot of their impact. Actually, Northcott lost all of their impact on the construction scale model industry. Of course, again, I'm going to say this for a third time. NZG has other fallback companies, but it's just an example of what could happen. And I hope not. But NZG does have a lot of fallback companies. Fallback brands, excuse me. I would heavily suggest that they would want to pick up a few more licenses, especially a heavy hitter. But it's a big maybe. I do hope, though, that we continue to see Virkin Group, John Deere owned Virkin Group diecast. And hey, you never know. We might actually see an NZG John Deere diecast. I hope. I really do hope. But it's kind of like one of those unknown sort of deals. It's like one of those deals with Case. Because for so long we've seen Case stuff from Ertl, and then Conrad made a couple Case things, and then now you don't see Case stuff at all because, the guys at Case go, okay, well, Ertl's shit. Conrad's good, but they cost money. Excuse me, but they're not making as much money because kids are buying Ertl. It's one of those sort of deals like, okay, what do we do? Because I'm gonna be honest here, I actually started collecting John Deere stuff, and it was Ertl, and it was cheap, and it was affordable. A 6 or 7 year old kid could afford it, and that's what I started on, and that's what a lot of us in the diecast community started on. And most of us still have a John Deere diecast. Maybe it's not ones we started on, but we still got them. And it'd be a real shame to see Ertl lose it, but also be a shame to see the Virkin Group and NZG part ways. Now, if I were heading up this merger sort of deal, I would keep things as it is because this is like going to be one of, it's not a big issue, but it's still an issue nonetheless. And I'd let NZG keep the Virkin Group licensing, and then Ertl stick over there with John Deere stick with Ertl. but maybe see a few John Deere models produced sometime. I don't know. It's just, an opinionated statement. And might I add, considering it's me, maybe not that much educated, but whatever. So moving on. It's assessment time, ladies and gentlemen. Diecast Masters, I can't believe I'm saying this, is approaching 2 years. Yeah, that's right. 2 years of having the Caterpillar license. So now it's time to criticize and also give them a pat on the back. The packaging, that's an easy pat on the back. They did a great job. Everybody else, step up your game. They've been innovative with their models. That's no surprise at all. Well, actually, it is kind of a surprise, but still. I mean, first cat mass-produced Zero Tail. I'm not counting the 320 or not CLCR, but 320 CLRR, because you see, wow. Because you see, that wasn't mass-produced. It was a limited quantity, and if it's a limited quantity, it is not mass-produced. I'm shooting down arguments. But anyways, so, yeah. Overall, though, and I just got distracted by something big time. Whoops, my fault. Sorry. Overall, though, they've done a really good job. Now, there's a couple things that they can do to improve my personal opinion. And so these are the things that they can do to improve, and from my point of view. 1, give us models we have not seen in a long time. Where, oh where, can I get a cat roller that was made in this century? Oh wait, you can't. And I'm not meaning by, and what I mean by this century is from the year 2000 onward, not in the last 100 years. You can't. We haven't had one since the old NZG days in the 90s. We haven't had one since the 563 and Cs and 583 Cs. We haven't had one. So maybe it would be, it would be definitely nice to have one. A new compactor and roller. In 1 to 50th scale. Now, we have had 1/87th scale in the early 2000s, early to mid, well, early, considering they were Power Edge, or Power Stripe, initially. But I think it's time we get some new ones. And this is a great idea here. On the compactor, throw a blade on it. Let that idea sink in for a second. Let's have a blade on a compactor. That'd be actually... Now, we've seen that Norscot did it with the 1/87th scale compactor, but it would be a new concept for 1 to 50th scale. Let's do it. Throw a blade on it. I mean, it's not like Diecast Masters hasn't been very bold. I guess you can call throwing a blade on something bold, but they've been pretty bold in some things. Like, oh yeah, what's Norscot going to do? And now they don't have the cat license. We don't know. We don't care. Fuck them! It's that sort of mentality, which is amazing, actually. But it's not like Diecast Masters is afraid to throw a blade on something. 335 that didn't need one. By the way, yes, I did beg and plead that blade was taken off. Well, it didn't happen. However, you just undo a couple screws and it comes off. That's how you do that. Yes, I am talking that voice for a reason. So, next thing I'd like to see, an 815 soil compactor. We have not seen an 815 since Joel. And that was a long ass time ago, let me tell you that. Joel's not even in business anymore. That's how long ago that was. We've seen 825s. And I'm naming off stuff that, people don't really care about. Because, it seems like everybody cares about excavators, and big excavators at that. I could care fucking less. I guess that's why people really don't, pay attention to me much anymore. Is because I don't really fucking care. Anyways. We haven't seen an 815 in a long ass time, and it's about time we see one again. Let's make diecast great again. Oh wait, that was actually a fucking hashtag on Instagram for a little bit, but we'll dive into that one here in a little bit. 815, come on. It's not that hard of a concept. Plus, the last compactor we had at 1/50th scale was made pre-2006 and then rebranded post-2006 with the 825H. Great model, just old. It's about as old as me collecting diecast. It was from that time period. About time we see a new one. You know, I mean, I'm gonna kind of say here, there's a lot of different things that they can make, but a lot of companies can make a lot of things, but they just don't do it, and it's bad business decisions. Stuff that we want, we don't get. First Gear. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that. Whoops. I forgot. I'm not supposed to bash manufacturers. Wait a second. That went out the window a long time ago, wouldn't you say? But Diecast Masters, they've done a pretty decent job. And they get mentioned a lot because they got the big one. They got Caterpillar. It's just like you get the big three. You get Cat with Diecast Masters, you get Ertl with Deer, and then you get Komatsu with First Gear and Universal Hobbies. But here's the thing, though. Universal Hobbies just seems to be irrelevant anymore. Actually, I can't say that about First Gear because they got the Max and the Kenworths, the dump trucks, which really are the only ones. They sort of monopolize that market anyway, since we haven't seen new shit from, or the rebranded, quote-unquote, new shit from WSI, how WSI likes to claim that they made it even though it's just old sword stock. Repackaged sword stock, excuse me. But we really haven't seen much in the terms from Universal Hobbies in a long time, and I have to say, that's good. Now, we are getting the PC-138 US, which, by the way, I kind of seen it coming on how people are now jumping on. Thank you, very loud truck, for interrupting my train of thought at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And if this is pretty bad, I am sorry. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. I am tired. Anyways, I kind of seen this coming, and I can see it getting worse. People are going to start jumping on the Zero Tail bandwagon. We're going to get back to Universal Hobbies, or actually, we're going to get back to that point in a second. But Universal Hobbies really hasn't done much recently, and we haven't seen in the way of new Komatsu models in quite some time. Which, first off, thank God on Universal Hobbies part, because I don't want to pay $70 for a chunk of plastic. I don't care how detailed it is. You can sculpt shit, but it's still shit when you get down to it. It's that sort of principle. They've had a couple good ones. Then they've had the couple laughable ones. PC400 with the demo style cab. The tilt cab that, they said, oh, it's fine. Yeah, Universal Hobbies. Now then, back to the point about Zero Tails. I can foresee, and I've sort of said this for a while, I can foresee a bandwagon effect on that one. You know why? You really want to know why? Because look at how successful Diecast Masters has been. And actually, this comes as a moderate surprise. People, or the diecast companies, are actually starting to listen to us. I know it's a very, very shocking concept that they're going to listen to us. But, to put it simply, when the Volvo ECR 235 started getting popular, which was like a year and a half or something like that ago, or quite some time ago, You know, when the ECR 235 was released, it was very different because it was a zero tail. And then you had the Liebherr R924s, which are fantastic models. Conrad, fucking awesome. Um, but the popularity of them dropped off because a majority of the stock, especially the ECR 235, dropped off the face of the earth. Then all of a sudden, a couple pop up, and people get them. And since there still aren't many around, they jack the prices up, and that makes people want them more. I don't know why, but you know, I can be honest and say I wanted a 235, but I'm not gonna pay out the ass. And then you got the Hitachi 225s. Don't get me started on that one because I'm really not like I've already broke the rule about not dissing manufacturers, but I might if I keep thinking about the 225, I'll break the golden rule and not diss people. Anyways, the in terms of the 235 and the 225s, I think when the manufacturers started to pick up, and that's the one good thing about social media, you can connect with anybody, and you know, I guarantee you, and this one's especially true for First Gear. They well, at least used to. They sort of implemented or made their presence known that they were watching, and they were taking notes of what we wanted. And the zero tail concept has always been a popular one, at least as back as far as I can remember. But the fact that losing my train of thought here. This is why you do not record at 4 a.m. after being up for many hours. They, you know, Diecast Masters, they knew that we wanted a Cat Zero Tail. Which, good for them, they guessed right. Well, it really wasn't a guess. Well, it was an educated guess. And that thing sold amazing. Like, that was a fucking home run. And it also proved that Diecast Masters would be decent because I said it, that they made a bold statement. They needed to back it up, and the only way to do that is to make good models, and by God, they've done it. And, you know, look how popular the 335 was. Within a day, I think, of them getting stock, and once the retailers have fulfilled their many, many, many pre-orders, the few that were left sold out, and the hype for it was amazing. And, you know, if you're another model company and you're seeing Diecast Masters over there make a killing off of a zero tail model, you're going to want in on that shit, aren't you? So, you know, obviously, people are going to imitate and make zero tails. The only thing I hope is that we don't get zero tails out the ass. Like, I'd like to see a good variety of zero tails, like one from each manufacturer, but I hope we don't get it out the ass. And, like, everything we see is now zero tails because, you know, in real life, there's not many zero tails, but it seems like everybody in the diecast construction community worships them. Never got the idea of it, but whatever. I'm pretty clueless on a lot of things you people out there like, but I still love you guys. I just don't understand why you like certain things. Wow, I feel like a dick for calling you guys you people, but anyways, it's my oh my. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. This is supposed to be me uncensored, right? You see, because at DHS, I'm a good little boy. But here, I have an open mic and your captive attention. But I really do hope we don't get zero tails out the ass. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up since it's been a half hour. And yeah, I promise there won't be a large gap between this and the next show. Hopefully the next show, it makes a lot more sense because it won't be 4 a.m. when I'm recording it. But, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed a little revival. I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have too. Anyways, guys, until next time, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Bye. See you guys. Peace out. And also, real quick, since I got 10 seconds, The Kevin Show will continue after my model news stretch on my actual channel. Kevin Rollins, my name. Anyways, guys, thanks to you guys, and peace out. See you later.